A Cosmic Intervention is the title track of the new album. It was one of those tracks which I started working on as a looper. So I looped the first couple of things, which was the tang da ga dang 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 dang, and then I put more sort of layers on it. I just recorded that and I put it away. One day I was working on Logic and I pulled up that file and I came up with the idea for the melody and how it would progress and how element by element comes in. As a producer, I'm always searching for sounds and how to enrich something which is dry. So I always record dry and then add stuff. This was definitely a labor of love because this is the kind of music that I also like. People think of me as a hard rock, heavy metal guy, but that's not true. I grew up listening to all sorts of music, whether it's blues, rock, jazz, classical, anything. Good music has always been good music and bad music is bad music. I'm not going to go towards the bad music part, but good music connects with you. And so far, everyone who's heard a Cosmic Intervention has their own sort of interpretation of what they feel. So it's a feeling that track is giving you. The title, A Cosmic Intervention, came from that thought. I was sitting late night in the studio, must have been 2 o'clock in the morning, and I put the whole track down and I was done by about maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. And then I went to sleep and I heard it the next day. And when I heard it the next day, it took me somewhere else. It took me into outer space and beyond. And it really reinforced the thought that you don't have to just do rock music. You can do all sorts of music and make it sound like you. And a Cosmic Intervention is really where I'm at today. That is the kind of music that I would like to do in the future. For a Cosmic Intervention, I used a multitude of guitars. The rhythm layers that you're hearing on there are a mix of Fender Strat and a Fender Telecaster. The actual melody on that is the Gibson Firebird. I really like the sound of the Firebird. It's somewhere in between a Les Paul and a Strat. Those mini humbuckers have a bite of their own, and if you roll down the tone knob just a bit, they have a warmth that maybe a traditional humbucker or a single coil may not have. So yeah, the Firebird is what you're hearing on that track predominantly. For the bass, Sami Ahmed came in and put the bass down on that. My old buddy from Caravan. This was the first time in 10 years that we had been together in the studio, and it was an honor to have him, and we've remained connected throughout this time. For the sound, I used a software instead of hardware. So there's no amps on this one. I used something called the Bias FX2, which is by a company called Positive Grid, and they make fantastic products. It has a very spacey sound. For delays, I did not use the Positive Grid. For delays, I used the Valhalla, which is again a great delay. So yeah, it's a very textured kind of sound that I was going for. And as a producer, you're always looking for new gizmos and things that may color some of that sound that you're hearing. When I work as a producer, I'm looking at my music as an artist would. So it's kind of like a palette is in front of you, and you're hearing sound in color. So I'm looking to paint in colors, and that's how I think a lot of artists do their work. I mean, at least that's what works for me. So while I was doing that track, I was also thinking about the album cover, and the album cover that is there now is a direct outcome of what I was feeling, and it's me traveling through space with planets on my left and my right. A Cosmic Intervention for sure.